All right, what's up, everybody? So you're watching this video because you want to learn how to get your motorcycle on your set of stands that you may have just purchased. So this video is going to go through that process. These stands here serve the purpose. I got a good deal on them on Marketplace for, I think it was 30 bucks. I do recommend Pitbull if you have the money to spend on those. These here have suited me well. So that argument could be made outside of this video. You know, pros and cons for both. I'm a huge fan of Pitbull. I have nothing bad to say about Pitbull, and I would rather have Pitbull stands, but you can't beat a good deal. Pitbull seems to be stronger. These okay, they serve the purpose, but they're not as strong. But nevertheless, they serve the same purpose, so they work. So basically the process is a couple things first. So you want to get it in position of where you want it to be, in the garage or your shed or what have you. Me in particular, this is where I'm going to put mine here. You're going to make sure of a couple things. Now, it's in the position, your kickstand is fully down, it's leaning on that kickstand, and also that this wheel is turned to the left. And that will then keep the bike leaning this way. So then therefore you run less risk of it falling away from you when you're setting it up on the stand. So then once you have those three things, you know, where they need to be, then we can go ahead and start the process. So let's go ahead and move forward with that. Okay, so I like to start with the rear stand. So I'll go ahead and get this. I'll get this in position right here. Before you get in position though, you kind of want to set it behind the tire. If this is your first time using these, you want to set it behind the tire, and you want to make the necessary adjustments to make these forks the proper width of your swing arm. So that way, when you connect it to this peg here, and then the other peg right there, that is the proper length. So when you go to lift it, you know that these forks here have a nice good hold on those two pegs. So I've used these before. I know that they're the proper width. So therefore there's no adjustments that I need to make, but should you need to make them, and these in particular, I'm not sure about Pitbull, but these in particular, you just simply will loosen this Allen bolt, and it will allow this fork to slide in and out, and then you retighten when you're ready. But once you have that set, basically you are good to go ahead and move forward. And I'll go ahead and get the phone in position, and I'll show you all how to do that. So here we go. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. Like I said before, I already have my forks in position. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and slide this up forward here, and you see how it's on a pivot. These wheels are built to pivot back and forth, right? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get this side, because this is the side that's further down. So I'm going to go ahead and get this side where it needs to be, which is right here on this peg here. And then with my right hand, I'm going to continue to apply pressure to this stand. So that way, because if you let off of it, it will fall down. You run the risk of thinking that it's on the peg and it's not. And it's just a recipe for disaster. So you're going to get it in position. Use your right hand, continue to apply pressure. And then while applying pressure, you're going to want to look on the other side, and you're going to adjust this, swing it around. And then at the same time, you're going to use your left hand to lift this up here. And then now I can see that my peg, and I can't show you all, but my peg is sitting inside the fork on this side. And while it's doing that, I'm going to verify that it's still sitting at the left side sitting inside the fork, which it is. And once you are sure about it, all you do is you simply press real hard and let it do its work. Just like that, right? So, and that's the downside to these versus Pitbull. This metal here on these cheaper ones are not as durable. They're not as strong. Fortunately, I haven't had any issues with mine, but I can definitely see the argument or the you know, the comparison. Oh, sorry guys, the comparison between that and Pitbull. But again, they've worked well for me. But as you can see here, we're sitting inside the peg on this side, as well as sitting inside the peg on this side. So as you can see, you don't want to obviously shake the piss out of it, but you know, you can shake it around a little bit. You can see that nothing, you know, it's nice and sturdy, nice and set. You know, there's no way for that to come back up unless you physically lift that up. So that's the rear. You notice my kickstand is still down. I personally like to just leave it down. There's no reason for me to put it back up. So then when you have that side done, we're then going to bring my little stand here to hold my phone up. Okay. Let me get you all set up nice in here. I'll slide you guys over a little bit here. Okay. Well, let me carry you over here. Okay, right here. Okay, so now when you're ready for the front side, you notice the wheel is still turned to the left from before, right? So we didn't move that. So now you're going to get your front side, and you're going to do the same thing. Now, the way that these work is your brake caliper, or the bottom of your fork. So here on this side, as well as here on this side, are going to sit on top of these, and that's what these little bumpers are for. So that way it doesn't damage or scratch up or anything on the bottom of your forks. So these bumpers are really nice to have on there. So basically what you're going to do, and again, just like the rear, if this is your first time, you might have to adjust the proper width, but me personally, I don't have to because I've used these before. But basically you're going to slide this up in between here, just like this, and get it in position. And then kind of like the rear, you're going to go ahead and you're going to allow this to pivot, and you're going to get the first one nice and set. Let me get my phone here. So you want to get this first one nice and set up on your right side, and then there we go. Okay. So the front's a little pain in the ass sometimes, but nevertheless, you want to make sure that it's nice and set up. The fork is resting on the bottom of this this fork here, allowing, you know, that bumper to be nice and secure. The same thing on this side too. Obviously, it's not sitting on it right now because I haven't applied the pressure to it. But once you get into position, you can then turn your wheel, which will allow the fork or your stand. It will allow your stand to get nice and set and ready to go. You're going to verify we're still sitting into that channel. We're still sitting into this channel. And what you're going to want to do is, with your left hand being right here on the stand, sometimes people, when you get better, you can use your foot too. But then on the right side, I have my hand right here on the handlebar to keep it secure. Now remember, you have the rear already set up, so the bike shouldn't fall over if you do this incorrectly, because the rear stand has it. But when you're ready, like I said, take this hand, grab the handlebar, and with your left hand, just give it a lift all the way to the front, just like that. So as you can see, it worked just like the rear, where it folded in or underneath, and here when you lift it up, it folded underneath. So now it's even more secure. Again, like, don't fucking kick it and don't push it, but you know, it's nice and neat. I'm shaking it around, it's real nice and sturdy. So that's pretty much it. So as you can see, it's sitting up right this way here, you know, and you can make adjustments if you need to, but you just gotta be careful. I mean, just take things nice and slow, like a girl says. And that's all still, that fork is in there. That fork is in there right here. But now we're nice and secure. So as you can see, there you have it. Got any questions? Post them down below. Happy to help any way I can. I know at times it might have been hard to see things because I was, you know, holding the phone or what have you. So I apologize for that. But if you do have any questions, I'm happy to help. So just drop a comment, and I'll answer them as best as I can. So But that's that. So be sure you click the like and subscribe button. I'm getting into motovlogging. I actually just got done. The reason this was off of the stance to begin with was because I just went out, did my first motovlog. So I'm going to be uploading those here soon. So be sure that you hit the subscribe button, and then you guys can be a part of that process. So holla at you later. Peace.